curious.
It is Charlie IO.
Charlie IO.
Oh, 3 as well.
No, Boxy is playing. It's mid-bench. B03 is playing bench.
Oh, it's the counter of the Monkey King. Swap him out of the Wukong.
Yeah,
swap him in, just kill him. What's a Monkey King to do?
Well, I'm a little untrustful of Venge core right now. Very curious to see what item build he goes, but yeah, the fact that he's a ranger against a melee is going to be better, so his lane won't be as bad.
I love it.
Let's hear from Purge. Your final thoughts on this draft, Purge.
I gotta go with Liquid. I feel like the Venge is a bit interesting, but it'll be able to protect Soul and other heroes, and as long as he gets cool itemization and transfers into Ags at a reasonable tempo, then it should be really effective. All
right, thank you very much. We'll come back to you later on. All right, so 10 heroes on the board. We started out saying that Team Liquid is coming on paper. It's coming in as the favorite here. Kyle, does a draft sway you a different direction, or are you on board with Purge here?
I love this. So much physical damage amplification. They're going to be able to take Roche very easily. It'll be tough for Chicken Fighters to do that. I don't look at Charlie as an IO player either, but just keep, like, the damage amplification. It's so much. The auras, the bonus damage, the hard counter to the last pick Monkey. I believe in Koifa's Venge, and I think they're going to have like 17 buffs, and they're going to just walk down lanes after a Roche kill.
All right, Owen?
I kind of want to go with Heikos on this. I think that Nyx is pretty game ruining for Bristle. I think they're going to kill him. I think if this Monkey King is able to get farm and get items, I think this Monkey King will carry the game. Sure, Core Venge has its strengths in terms of messing with some of the Wukongs and stuff, but when it comes to just straight up carrying, if they don't lose this game, if they don't get steamrolled in like 25 minutes, I think a Heikos will win this. If they can hold off. If they can hold off like they held off against OG in game 2, Heikos will win this late.
Let's see if they can hold off or if Liquid will take this first game. It is over to Capitalist and BSJ for game 1.
It's quite an interesting draft, I would say, all around. BSJ, how are you feeling about this? We've got a core Vengeful Spirit. We're going to be seeing a core IO out of Charlie as well. And we're also going to be seeing a 5-man stack. Both teams are running 5 of their players to one side of the map, and we might just have a really big 5-on-5 fight to start the game.
They've got the Beastmaster Hawk scouting out, so they know full well on the side of Liquid who's up here.
Yeah, they're going to try and go for the shards. They do manage to catch Chessie in it. Follow up with a magic missile. They're trying to bring down Chessie as quick as possible. Beautiful intel's going to stall things out, but the imprisonment only lasts for so long. Chessie's still trying to get away, but Mickey is hot on his tail with the quills. He's going to need 2 or 3 more of them. Maybe with Taiga leading up that damage. See, this last quill is close enough. It's barely outside of the range, but the ice shards are going to be there. Chessie is nowhere really to run to. He pops a salve to try and stay alive, but in the end, Koifa is the one to claim that first blood, while Mickey is sacrificed in turn. As a result, though, it looks like, and I'm going to try really hard not to call them chicken fighters, Heikos will manage to get 2 bounty runes all the same.
Yeah, I didn't even have time to talk about the game or the draft. Start off with a 5v5 real quick, just see how everyone's doing. Everyone's awake today. I guess it's no time for them, but I just think the tempo from Liquid's draft will be too fast this game. Their wave clear is way better than the side of Chicken Fighters. When they picked the Beastmaster, the heroes they saw so far were OD. You really have limited wave clear other than the Meteor Hammer. Nyx was literally 0. And IO starts to build up wave clear later, but doesn't have it for a while. And then they picked Undying. So I'm definitely very concerned for the Radiant draft in regards to Bristle running down lanes, Beastmaster running down lanes, Vengeful Spirit helping people do more damage as they run down lanes. He does go for the straight Ags, by the way. Koifa just goes spreads Ags. Maybe some Wraith fans.
Okay. The that's kind of interesting because you are so reliant. I'm not sure if you've seen this one before, BSJ, but Venge Broken does not drop that illusion. And they do have a break mechanic on the
based on her passive, right?
Yeah, it's based off your passive. So if you get Nyx broken and killed off, you won't drop an illusion.
That's interesting. They would have to burst him pretty quick. What's the break from Vendetta? I think it's like 3 seconds.
Yeah, it's not super long.
I guess that's kind of reasonable. They have decent burst damage with the OD and the Monkey King.
course, the other thing that is a little bit unique about this game is we aren't going to be running a core IO. Not totally unheard of, obviously, but it is unheard of for Charlie to be playing it in a professional match. This will be his first pro game of IO. He has played it a lot in his pubs, apparently, as his account that is currently on, that he hasn't used for pubs since 2018. He has played 80 games of IO just on that account. So you add in another 2.5 years of activity, and I'm pretty sure he's gotten some IO games. So
yeah, IO is definitely one of those heroes you got to specialize in. Pretty much all the stuff you used to like learn to how to play IO applies to virtually no other heroes in the game. So it's not necessarily like mechanically difficult. It's more just like hitting the power spikes, utilizing your ultimate during fights or just like skirmishes in general. Very unique hero.
when have you played it, Brian? Have you tried it out since you are kind of a
I
great
tried
player?
it a couple times, but not this patch. The timings, ever since they moved the spirit damage to 20, were really wonky for me. And my excuse for not trying this hero more is I pretty much acknowledged I would have to play it 100 times or 0. You know, it's not a hero you can just pick 5 to 10 times and be like, yeah. I feel like I'm okay.
And if you invest 100 times, then Ice Frog nerfs it, so it's no longer viable as a core anymore, then you kind of just wasted the time.
You know, as long as we're learning, we're never wasting. Yeah, pretty much.
Well, Supreme, he's having an okay time in CS in the mid lane, but he is getting beat to hell by Koipa's Vengeful Spirit, who continues to pressure him with all this damage that she got.
I like this adjustment Koipa's made. Usually he likes to go for the max wave of terror, as most Venges do in the mid lane, but since he's against Bucky's team, who he can't really harass, he's chosen to max out the stun because that's the only way he can kind of do it. Oh, as we see a first blood bottom. I didn't expect that, but the cusp the boar. Level 3 boar. That thing's powerful.
Don't forget our very early team fight at the start of the game. So not quite first blood, but it was the first blood of the laning phase anyway. Yeah, looks like Star Undying just get a little bit too far ahead of himself in that lane, which is something that I think is very easy to do with the Undying versus Tusk matchup. Now we're gonna watch Supreme maybe get away. High ground hit, evasion. No, the blast comes through. It was a good dodge, but ultimately Insania had a plan B if that hit didn't.
I also wonder if Koipa's going for this max stun because he has a Keeper of the Light on his team. In the mid game, that damage output from pretty much a double stun is going to be pretty nuts. The 360 damage when maxed out on the Magic Missile. You saw there that usually Venge can't afford to spam this ability, and she doesn't like to go for bottle, so that gank was made successful by Insania giving him mana.
Insania just trying to threaten the pull here, so Era is forced to mess around with that rather than going for our carry. And Mickey is going to try here the bounding route. This Era does have a stun though, so should be able to get it. No big deal. He's going to be chased down though. They're going to do a lot of damage to him. Charlie also going to be forced to back up as his Undying goes down. Era does indeed fall up at that top lane. No real chance for him to get it. Gives
might have to put some lubrication on that key or something, you know what I'm saying?
Era does know what you're saying, and he also knows what Instania is up to here, but he can't fully stop it. Only stops one of the stacks there, so ultimately there is going to be a lot of farm here for Mickey to be able to take over as soon as he's kind of bored and done with playing this out, especially since he's got the Wave of Terror to make it that much easier to clear through stacks.
Yeah, I think what makes Coddle so nice is that he is literally never in lane except to quickly walk over and give some shocker magic to make it. Most reports to be impactful have to consistently be in lane, which means they're taking experience, which means that they're not doing anything else on the map. Coddle is doing his job by taking no experience and then also stacking. So it's like it's like quadruple the efficiency. You're getting it out of lane and then you're also getting it out of jungle.
Oh, turn around, prime the roar. Foxy immediately TPing out. Very smart. A snowball over the side is only going to delay his death. This thing is certainly going to be gone here. But still, they traded 1 for 1 and they forced rotations. I'm sure Liquid is still going to that exchange.
Yeah, that was absolutely sick. Roaring the Monkey King to make sure he couldn't get stunned before the TP. The Nyx stun was just a tad too late there. As Quakefoot gets the Arcane Rune, could be a bit trouble, but Aaron's at least gonna pay with his life.
Yeah, Supreme turning his to Boxy instead of going for Koifa here. Maybe just because he knows Koifa is pretty tanky to physical damage thanks to all that extra armor. And Supreme is getting kited around. Oh, that magic missile just did so much damage. And now Zibe, he's gonna die too. This boar, it's relentless and it's not letting him go anywhere. Koifa with the triple kill. Oh, they're gonna get a quad?
That is weak early. He is now weak later. And he is now at a triple kill, maybe an ultra kill? No.
Yeah, Charlie does manage to get away because the Nyx was already back up.
That Arcane Rune value was insane. 6.3 second cooldown on his stun throughout the duration. I think he threw out like 4 stuns in that one little skirmish.
Well, we got our Hamlet Dominator here. Chesty also has his meteor and the hammer in the top lane, as we've put to good twice now on some heroes. That said, he won't really be able to pressure the lane too much if there's a Bristleback or a Coddle pushing out the lane against him. He's never going to get the opportunity to put that meteor hammer to work on the tower like Boxy is able to do here with the Necronomicon.
Yeah, if you look at both drafts, like not only is the Beastmaster going to represent an immense amount of tower pressure bottom, but Bristle's more of like a wall top. And even if they eventually kill him, they'll have to invest so much and probably tank so many quills that they're not going to be able to translate it into an objective. And then Venge, since she's off to such a good start, there's also going to be a lot of tower pressure going on in the mid lane as Quakefoot is going to continuously shove that in. So I'm kind of expecting to have to see the Radiant team, so I make sure I don't say their name wrong, have to dedicate more resources to each individual lane that they want to defend or push. And eventually, Team Liquid's just going to capture all the tier ones, if not now, the next like 5 minutes, maybe even sooner.
Koifa, you could see where he's putting his priorities into. Could have gotten a point booster, could have gotten the Blade of Alacrity. Instead, he chose the Ogre Club. He really just focused on having that higher HP to make use of the high armor you naturally have. So he's just plain up survivable and will be able to get off multiple magic missile team fights. And is indeed rushing towards that Aghanim Scepter.
Yeah, Venge is one of the few heroes that he actually took time to talk to me about, which was like, it's really cool to hear his perspective on like the timings of the hero. He's pretty much like, yeah, you get nags and then you just run around. And if you die, you run around some more. If you're losing 30% faster.
Nice, picking him up halfway through the impale means Instania took no damage from that spell. And nice rotation that catches 2 heroes and is going to force it 3 back. 3-11 with a 4,000 net worth lead already for Liquid. They're certainly in the driver's seat of this game.
Yeah, they're making such good use of the keeper light. If you look at their draft, it's just genius because as we see another Roar mid, Undying, I guess he's willing to tank it. Summons alone should probably be
Snowball picking him up. Right into an impact under the tier 1. The OD ultimate there. As the Founders hit here from from Supreme. Now Supreme's going to be focused down pretty quickly. He's healed up by Charlie. Maybe he can still turn this around. They do have the Vendetta hit onto the Bristleback, but ultimately it does do enough to be able to bring down the Monkey King. There goes a lot of your damage, and there goes Heikos backing it up, backing away, not wanting to do that team fight. Not a bad exchange for Heikos. 2 for 2 when they're down like this. I don't disagree.
Yeah, I just think these fights are going to get harder and harder. The damage and just raw sustain that comes out from Liquid's lineup is just so efficient. Like, the Necro Books are so efficient because the Beastmaster aura. Bristleback at this stage in the game is at his most powerful. He's got this farming steroid and the Keeper of the Light, as you see him farming another couple stacks on his triangle here. Like, they're just going to accelerate so quickly, and I think it's going to be spelling the end of the Radiant team here once the Vengeful Spirit Axe comes out.
Yeah, we noticed this. So we watched the Coddle win in that first game of the lower division game, and then we saw Coddle again in game 3. And the one thing that I noticed was that while Coddle individually was doing a lot of stacking, as a team, I think it was No Bounty Hunter, was actually doing an equal amount of stacking. Every single time we went to this stat, I'd count it up, and they'd be like, oh, they're only like 1 stack behind. They're actually fine. Very different situation here for Heikos, who's stacked like once compared to Liquid having over 10, actually closer to 15 now at this point.
Yeah, I understand it when I see the drafts that Liquid will need less resources to get stuff done, which means they have more free time to do stuff like stacking. But I don't exactly get how these tier 1 teams construct these drafts. Easy to recognize after it's been made. It's like once you see the picture, oh, that makes sense. But the formation of it itself, it's so crazy. Like at this point, I'm like, yeah, wow, their draft is cool. You know, like how did they get ahead so far in this specific category of the game? But yeah, this stacking thing seems like it's gonna be like, if it's in Division 1 and Division 2, it must just be a European thing that will probably bleed all the way to other regions, if not, it hasn't already.
Well, I think the one very important thing is having independent cores, right? We had the Ember Spirit, who was able to do kind of okay in his safe lane in that first game of the day. Here we've got a Bristleback, who's obviously very into it there. As soon as you kind of have to have that, you can't have a hero that's pressured too easily, right?
Yeah, I think when you say independent, I like to think of self-sustaining in this stage of the game. Because
yeah, that's good.
Usually Bristol is not self-sustaining, but because he has a Keeper of the Light, he turns into that.
Sure.
So I think what Liquid does a really good job of is specifically recognizing these duos of heroes that work so well in tandem.
One magic missile, you can throw another one pretty soon here, but he's actually getting imprisoned. Tibe is going to be able to get over the side. Blast is going to bring him down, but he's like, hey, I'm good with that. Koifa's going to die, and Heikos, no. I was going to say,
if they turn that into something, I was going to say it's pretty good, but...
And then they stay big. They see the wall that you were talking about, and they're like, nope, can't get over that.
Look at his farm. He's got Vanguard, Hood, and a full halberd at 15 minutes in. He's 2,000 gold ahead of second place in the network, and that's
perfect. There's not much of an animation to Snowball. Really well done by Taiga. He's gonna maybe get himself denied. Oh! Throws down the Sanity's Eclipse, but it's too late.
Oh, come on. Like, you could just tip Taiga. I feel like that was...
No.
That's glass half empty mentality coming out from Liquid.
I think that's a winning mentality from Liquid. Do some psychological damage. They can praise Taiga all they want in their mic, you know? They can tell him over Discord. They can be like, hey, great job, buddy. But they can't do that to Chessie. They can't taunt him. Except for through tips.
That was a pretty sick play.
Chill about it. It's just another day in the office.
You, man, as a 4-position player, that's nuts.
All right, well, Aghanim Scepter is coming in the next few minutes for Charlie. Wrong, and one of those things going wrong is their triangle being taken over by this Bristleback. They're going to make the rotation, though, down to bottom lane, thanks to the relocate and Era setting up. This is kind of what the synergy of their draft had, which with poor IO mixed with the Nyx Assassin support, they could actually get really powerful global ganks off.
I'm just wondering what the timing is for this IO. It looks like he's queued up the Ags, so I know that the Ags is really nice, but until level 20, it doesn't really dish out real damage. My only concern for him is that for the Ags to take effect, you have to be in the fight long enough because it's spawning a new spirit every second, I believe. And there's just so much burst. You have the Beastmaster Roar, you have the Tusk Tag Team, the Venge minus armor. Bristle's chunking people at this stage in the game. With Warpath stacks up, he'll hit for over 300. It's just a bit concerning.
Yeah, we don't have like, we have the save from the OD, and then we have the heal that comes in from the Undying, but we don't quite have the like super save like an Oracle that comes in and ensures you're absolutely staying alive for 10 seconds in a team. What do you think about this this IO plus OT as a core? Because whenever I core IO, I always like to admit that works really well with it. In the past, it's been something like Death Prophet, where just like pure sustain is super value on the Death Prophet. Here, we actually have the change of your overcharge, giving you attack speed, which works really well with the OD on top of the spell amplification.
So it's one of those theory crafting. It's kind of like Omni OD, where it works really nicely when you're playing together in team fights. But when it comes to playing the map, my issue is that I look for Liquid. To kill the Bristle, they would need to bring 3 or 4 heroes. To kill the Beastmaster, they'd probably have to smoke because he has a Hawk. And then the other heroes are going to be playing together. On the other hand, if any of these heroes try to split push or clear waves by themselves, they're always going to have to be scared. So they're not really going to get the fights that they want. So while IO-OD seems nice on paper, OD's got very limited wave clear with the Meteor Hammer, and then IO has to physically place himself on the creep wave in order to clear it. And just against the kill threat that Liquid has, that's going to naturally make his wave clear less impactful. So if they can get that fight, I like their odds, but that was kind of my concern going into the draft. And so far, you can see with the pace of the game that they're just getting out efficiency when fights are not going up.
So if we had something, say we place this Undying with a wave clearing 5 position hero, Winter Wyvern, like something like that, do you think you would be more agreeable to this combo? It just leaves a big opening in the draft you kind of have to cover.
Yeah, it's not just the Undying, right? It's also the Nyx. Like, the combined duo that they have has literally no wave clear. Like, Nyx, yeah, his Impale's okay, but compared to a lot of other fours, even ones like Shaker or Spirit, who are also ganking types, very little wave clear on the Nyx. And it's like, you want to be able to jungle on IO most of the time. And so you see him here, he is jungling. And since he's jungling, the waves just aren't going to get pushed. And eventually, over the course of a couple minutes, the waves are all going to be on their side of the map. And even when they get crucial kills like they did on the Beastmaster as well as the Venge, it just results in them defending their lanes rather than actually advancing and taking time.
Looks found a few of his missing frames, so back in action here. 17 minutes of the tier 2 neutral items are just now spawning. Some big item pickups. We just had the Desolator, and I'm gonna try and do it off of memory here. The Bristleback has the Soul Shroud? Is that what it's called?
Eternal Shroud, my friend.
I knew it was Shroud something.
Yeah, it's just too good of an item on Bristle. That item was made for spell, life steal, magic resistance, and
yourself mana
back
well.
whenever you take whenever you take damage. That item's just too perfect for him.
Really is.
20% spell lifesteal on heroes. There used to never be an option to get this spell lifesteal this early. You usually had to wait for that level 25 talent timing, and that was always pretty late in the game. But now, if he's not broken by the Nyx, there's like this critical threshold where you get him to like 500 health, and then suddenly he just isn't taking damage anymore because he's just healing as much as he's taking every time you proc his shot.
Like he's going to be going to AC next. What do you think about stacking some of that spell lifesteal with like the Bloodstone? Is that a viable build at all?
I've seen it sometimes. I think that'd be more of a mid or offlane Bristleback, but since he's the carry, it's his job to, like, he's getting buffed up by Venge and Beastmaster. It'd be kind of a meme if he went to that spell day, like, relied purely on the quills. The reason why the Eternal Shroud is nice, it's just such an efficient item for how survivable it makes you. But then, now that you're survivable, let's go kill some people.
Era trying to do everything he can to stop Liquid from rolling onto the high coast side of the map. Better not summon a Hawk Supreme. He's pumping his ultimate. He's going to let it out now. Goes straight for Foxy. See if they can chain stun him before the Primal Roar goes out, but they cannot. He gets a Force Staff out of the Wukong's command. Still gets off his Primal Roar. Does a nice job of retreating here. Koifa's going to be caught inside of this mess, though. He's going to turn and fight, though, because he still has his Aghanim Scepter to be able to rely on. He gets popped, gets brought down. They are going to be able to get a little bit more as dying Tombstone just in a perfect spot there. Mickey is playing underneath it like he just doesn't give a damn, though. And it looks like he probably doesn't give a damn. As the last hit is still not there. Somebody please, for love of God, hit this Tombstone. They finally do, while Mickey is going to be stalled up by the Meteor Hammer with the imprisonment, while the Koifa Illusion is going to go for Supreme. Already brought him back to the doom of Taiga, who blocks him in with the shard as well. He's going to get an imprisonment save. This OD is doing a lot of damage. Box is getting a pop in the end there, but it looks like they're going to lose their Monkey King. If they lose their Monkey King, again, there goes a lot of their damage. They're just on full retreat now, as Chessie will do what he can to stall them from running back, but ultimately...
He does respawn on the Illusion.
He does, but he's going to be back to full health and full mana. So Koifa is covered by Mickey in that regard. Uh-oh, they're going to relocate in. Maybe they will take advantage of this. Insania is here, though. They do have a few more seconds. He can maybe recall some people in. Meteor Hammer lands on a Koifa's head. They're going to try and pop him real quickly. Managed to get the magic missile stun. He's down. Taiga is now up. Maybe recalled by Insania.
Really down?
Jesse trying to get away, but he's going to be swapped back again. This Illusion. They keep on killing the Vengeful Spirit at the start of these fights, but the Illusion perseveres and has a huge impact in making sure that High Coast do not get away.
Other than killing the Tombstone, because Illusions do less damage to the Tomb, that Illusion is literally better than the actual hero. It moves at 30% bonus move speed, and otherwise it's the exact same. Hits for 100% damage, has all the spells. So Koifa, you see starting that fight by just walking up the hill, basically like a Wraith King saying, please kill me.
Yeah. Especially with the way he's building it, right? If he had built some sort of like bonus damage that was outside of his agility, then he wouldn't be getting that damage, but he's just all stacked. He's just rolling up with treads and an Aghanim Scepter. Now he's going to be building an S and Y. Mickey, broken here. Impaled into the Meteor Hammer stun. That's going to land. Do we have any follow-up? Nope. They gave up on that. Oh,
The fact that he's allowed to play alone like this is just... like, he's just getting away with murder in the top lane. Like, you see how they're able to play 3 lanes? That's the power of the Liquid lineup, as now they can collapse bottom with the control.
Yeah, Mickey. Really good blast there from Insania, pushing Zibet up onto the high. Jesse's still here too. Jesse did not have a TP, and I think they spotted that. They're gonna go for the Meteor. That's not gonna go up. He's trapped underneath his tier 2 tower. That is why sometimes this tier 2 tower is better off just give it up. It's such a hard tower to defend.
It's the problem is usually when the opponent team is pushing a tier 2 and 4 they're also pressuring other lanes. But because Mickey was able to play top for so long, Io's just now getting to the tier 2 and he's already forced the TP back, not even attempting to go for a trade. They're not missing out on any efficiency on the side of Liquid going for the push.
Swap immediately breaking the tether. Sabrine first to down. Gone, no buyback. Tombstone is out on the side here. Mickey's going to deal with it. Force Staff gets him out of the Meteor Hammer stun just in case. Zibek very likely to die as the blast comes through from Insania to finish off the kill. They're going to buy back, try and take this 4 versus 5, but I'm not convinced they can deal with Mickey. And Koifa has not been shy of dying just to force a fight. That is the power of the Aghanim Scepter. One lane of barracks.
I think people are learning the counter to Nyx is by simply having so much wave clear that they can't get the fights they want. Because once Nyx's team is allowed to group up and get pickoffs, it's really easy for that hero to burst down any single target and take a 5-on-4. But you're seeing here that like the Nyx is basically just a bounty hunter scouting out, looking at heroes in front of him, and he just can't kill them. And at that point, this hero isn't nearly as potent as we usually see when it's in a good game. And Liquid, really showing that with the last couple picks in this draft. Revenge Beastmaster, all about that 5-man.
AC now on Mickey. Insane is going to die at the start of this fight, but once again, Supreme goes in. Maybe he can actually get off the Wukong's man. He's going to be okay. The rest of the Liquid did not come up into this triangle. Instead, they push forward to catch the OD, and they kill him, but it might cost some of their heroes their lives. Koifa is going to be dancing away here. Now the Wukong's command is gone. They have to relocate. They pull some heroes out. They're going to return back, though, to a team fight that's going to be very tough to take. The Tombstone's still around here, but again, the power of Mickey and Koifa just not really caring if anybody goes on them, because Koifa's got an extra life and Mickey's impossible to kill. Just means that it's all posts that have to back away from these.
He's also got the 20 kill stack talent on Mickey. His damage output's insane.
Swap again, Supreme underestimating the range that this level 3 swap gives you. As we could see, Koifa is like, whatever, die to a tier 3. I've got my illusion still here. Mission accomplished. We kill the core. We're going to take 2 lanes to barracks now. As swap goes again, Chessie is able to get the imprisonment on himself before the stun lands, but he's going to come back, and I'm not sure if he can do anything. Oh, the impale? Meteor hammer? That's going to be able to finish off Taiga, rather, but Mickey is a big problem. Fortunately, the imprisonment will allow them to reset the fight, but it won't stop Mickey from going for the objectives unless it does. Unless Liquid's like, chill, that's okay. Back it up. No need to rush.
Yeah, I think Nyx countering Keeper of the Light's a myth. I think people think that Keeper of the Light is countered by Nyx because you can carapace the blast early. But the fact is, the most annoying thing with Nyx is when you try to go high ground or just these late game sieges, he just spams mana burn on these carries like Crystal. And when they run out of mana, they don't have anything that they can do. Coddle just gives it right back. Yeah. So I think that's actually what makes Coddle probably the counter to Nyx. Probably the best hero in the game against Nyx. Surprisingly so at this stage. Like later on when you're going for that high ground siege.
Yeah, we're not watching Coddles that are really, doing heavy split pushing and too much, right? They show up, they defend a tower or something, but otherwise, they're making better use of playing with their team, better use of recalling allies who those guys are doing the split pushing, not necessarily the Coddle.
This hero's concept is just busted, man. I think it's just so hard to play against. Whatever team I see has Keeper of the Light, it just looks like their game plan is way easier to execute. Even if they end up losing, it just seems on paper so efficient. It always feels so nice as the core to have basically free boots of travel and a free walking fountain as well in terms of the mana. So as long as the hero has natural health sustain, you're always on map. There's so much efficiency gained from never having to go back to base, never having to ferry yourself clarities, going straight for items that are just good for the hero. And you're seeing it here with Bristol. His net worth is off the freaking charts.
So much movement speed slow. The swap's going to go out, pulling him even deeper onto the side of Liquid, who pretty much own any area outside of High Coast's actual base. Koifa backing away from the Tombstone. They're building up the imprisonment stacks here, stealing a bunch of that mana for the OD. All right, well, 60 Spirits hero damage. So with the Aghanim Scepter and now hitting that level 20, the Io certainly reached a big peak. Akaya as well, so big damage upgrade.
Oh yeah, the Sange and Kaya is a nice item here. The status resistance in tandem with the spell amp.
The HP regen that comes down as well. All very nice stuff. The imprisonment set up into the Wukong's command. Missed the impale though. Swap back. Also kills the Wukong's command and ultimately kills the Monkey King. He doesn't like that one bit. Now he's going to be Primal Lord on the OD. Okay, buyback on the Monkey King, but no buyback available on the OD. That's been their way of dealing with Mickey so often part of the time as they try to go hit from Era and fail. Oh, geez. He just got bursted so quickly. Shards blocks out Zibe, who drops a Tombstone, but it's going to be all in vain as this team is very likely going to be wiped here. Mickey gets a little bit low, and Liquid once again going, okay, we don't necessarily have to force this. They'll lose Taiga on the way out, but they still have Koifa's illusion up, so basically it's still 4 mana up from Liquid.
Yeah, such good itemization coming out from Insania. We talked about him enabling the bristleback early with his overall play and skill usage, but now he's got the Force Staff once he gets broken so that he doesn't get bursted. And he's got the Lotus Orb, like just such good items to enable his team to carry. And I just love the vision this guy has. I love the guy. He's a nice guy. And he's also a nice Dota player.
Nice, nice, nice. Things are looking quite nice for Liquid as well here, as they are over 2,000 ahead pretty early on into the game. They can go ahead and Roshan Leisure, and well, our Bristleback also isn't close to being totally maxed out. Still fit in a full heart.
Here's the positive, Cap.
Yeah.
Is that if Bristle dies from,
Okay.
he dies twice.
Okay.
If you take his net worth out of the picture, actually even.
Ah, okay. So all we need to do is find a way to relocate Mickey into the enemy fountain.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm down with that. Maybe we're going to be able to kill the Venge right away. Quite fun. He's going to die. His illusion put it on the imprisonment. Zibe, though. Oh, dear. Mickey's right on top of them. He gets the Abyssal Blade onto the OD. Finishes off Zibe as well. Look over, and Supreme's dead just like that because of Boxy and all of his Necronomicons. The synergy of this Liquid lineup, man, it just looks so cool.
The Radiant lineups, you see a lot of individual pieces that counter the individual pieces of the Liquid lineup, but I think the overall picture is just so much more well-rounded inside of Liquid. You're seeing it play out in these 5v5s. It's like Nyx, OD, 1-to-1, very nice against Bristol, right? But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if you guys die in like 2 seconds.
Yeah. Yeah. We got to do something about the stacking, too, from this Keeper of the Light. I like, Arrow was even aware of it, but he couldn't quite do anything about it. I'm not sure.
to retract your last move.
feel free, and I just wanna be me. Yeah, I just wanna go so crazy. I just wanna be a freak. Yeah, I just wanna rise to the top. Yeah, I just wanna go reach the peak. So I've been really well focused on success. Hey, y'all will see. Yeah, you'll see that I will get it. Cause I'm really focused, man. I make it with the rap and I just follow my path. I just follow my passion. To me, this is what's precious. Yeah, in my soul, man, I can feel it. So every single verse, man, I just gotta go and kill it, man. I gotta be the kid. I could be the guy taking you wild. I could be the villain, but that is okay. Lately, I'm painting my path on my way. Yeah, I got no time that I can waste. So I've been sitting in the space. Yeah, making rest every day, man. You know that I go insane. Yeah, I hit you with a bullet to the brain. Let us stop first, cause we going insane. You don't know what I'm gonna do. You don't know what is next. And I'm loving the fact, truly it's making me blessed. Cause I work on my team, no snakes in the grass. And we have the trust in the wind because of the work that we did in the past. Because of the work that we did in the past. When we went to hours, we barely got rest. So I get the realm and we didn't finesse. So I got the feelings that we might be next. Cause when we go in, we win in the match. Sure. When we go in, we win cause we be the best. We be the best. Yeah, we be the best. Yeah, we be the best. We be the best. Hey, yeah, we be the best. Hey, we be the best. Yo, you wanna come and test? Whoa, you want to see we the best? Hey, You don't see that with a basket, so I suggest you never really come and test it. But otherwise, I will smack your face like Michael Jordan does with a ball in the basket. Oh damn kid, but you didn't expect it. You never really thought that this could just happen. But now really come on and we pull out with the action. Cause people defeat those they don't get it like.
Ready for the second game of the series. I know Purges. We have him on the big screen joining us. I'm here with Kyle. I know he picked.
Experience while they do it, in my opinion, or try to so like
not near as sure as you, but just for a bit of, yeah, no bet. But I do.
Games I've watched of them so far, maybe 7, they've had 3 different people go mid. Mickey plays mid some. Caused the Ember to not have to go for this flame guard, which would normally get burned down by the Iron Shell anyways. And eventually, when he gets these Sleight of Fist chains levels up, this Darkseer, his Surge is going to be rather lackluster, and he'll probably bite the dust a couple times, as I don't really see how they can be aggressive between Era and Chessie here. Insania, Coddle, like 330 move speed, man. It's hard to catch this hero out of position just by purely using slows and haste movement speed on yourself.
They're going to confidently pull into the hard camp, knowing that they could probably get the CS. They don't actually get
damage, though.
Time.
It's just efficient trading for Liquid there. Like, Mickey took very little damage, everyone's sharing experience, and then Kalo gets the 2-man nuke.
Taiga, not in any real danger there, just kind of pushed away. If he felt like it, he could just TP out since they stun between 2 of them, but they do manage to stack that easy camp, pull it, and deny a wave, and are going to keep doing that So Taiga's got to find a way to be able to fix this. Meanwhile, Era, seeing that, like you said, doesn't feel like they can really get aggressive. He's gonna maybe try and make something happen mid here. If not, he doesn't see an opportunity. There's always the power runes that are coming up.
Yeah, there's really cool little maneuvers going on in the top lane. So what happened was Taiga was stopping Zibe from pulling the small camp. So Zibe called Charlie over to help him. And so they basically two-manned him to bully him away such that Zibe could pull a camp. Yeah, it's all a little back and forth shenanigans. Quickfoot is level 3 now. That poison attack starts to add up a lot, doubles up in the damage, as it looks like he's going to go down on the 5 position Bristle. I don't get to say that very often.
What's he doing over there?
He was blocking the hard camp to
Oh,
prevent
okay.
the pull.
Illusion.
Yeah, if you guys are trying to learn how to lane in regards to how you can use pull camps and such, this top lane's a great example. Both teams are doing a lot of things right, and you're seeing Zibe getting punished for trying to do something right that may be outside of his hero's capabilities.
Meanwhile, Charlie isn't able to have that kind of free lane that we see on a lot of IOs because he's matched up against a fully ranged offlaner, and one that's very good pressuring in the Viper, which Charlie needs an escape. Where's the tether away? Finally gets it. He's out, but not feeling very happy about it. He's just getting no CS.
I feel like against Viper Veno, these two most cancerous green snake-like heroes, you need a dispel. I don't know what else to say. Every time I've laned against these myself, that's just what happens to you. Even if you end up surviving, even if you end up getting to keep playing the lane, you miss so many CS, you're stuck sitting away from lane so often just to regenerate, just to get rid of the stacks of the poison. And you're seeing here, Viper's at 23 CS to 14 of Charlie.
So what is if you could just disregard the heroes and replace it with something? What is the kind of lane that deals with those very cancerous offlaners? Pressure you in lane. Hold up. Give you a moment to think about that as Era is looking for the kick here. Does manage to land it. Odd Boxy. Tornado goes out on Supreme. He gets off the Ghost Walk, and he's going to be okay. In fact, he's going to try and slow him down and hope that he can get the rune as well. But no, bottled up by Supreme. Boxy is out on that.
The type of lanes that deal with it are just like with Viper. I like PL a lot. You can dispel his Q anytime he tries to stack it up on you. You have a way to close the gap on him, so in case you want to commit for a kill. And then later, Viper doesn't deal with illusion heroes very well later.
Okay.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
But just that type of hero in general, like Weaver, PL, Parablade's okay against Veno specifically because you can reflect his poison sting. But it's all matchup based on the offlaner. But when you pick these, I feel like IO's meant to win the lane, is my problem. Yeah. And if you pick these lane winners against heroes like Viper, Veno, you just don't win the lane. So it kind of puts a damper on your win condition of the mid game.
Yeah, it's pretty cool that Viper simultaneously wins the one-on-one matchup against the IO, so it pressures him in lane. The other way it recovers, taking stacks, and guess what? Viper does that really well. He's got level 1 of Nether Toxin, but they just took that hard camp stack with a little help from Taiga. Pushed the IO out of lane. Liquid are just winning everywhere you look. They're up by 2K net worth right now. Top 3 core heroes all around. Already very concerning for Heiko.
Yeah, they're just out-efficiencying them. More CS in general. As Boxy may be biting the dust mid, but that tornado should be enough to disengage from here.
You managed to get the dust on him. Boxy. It's
no adaptive
up.
strike points.
Chessie's not.
He is going for the Atos first. This is a really nice Atos game for the Viper. All 3 cores rely on mobility spells, tether, the waveform, surge.
Real good.
Like I said though, I think the way to deal with Viper is to gank it. and they don't have gankers. Like, their heroes on the Dire side just do not move. This is a big problem in their draft. I don't know how they're supposed to. They're gonna be like dealing with the same problem they did last game, just in a different way. They have the heroes that can't occupy lanes independently, and so Liquid's gonna be able to farm all 3 lanes, and that's why you're seeing, even though there's virtually no kills happening this game, the Liquid's all of a sudden up by 3,000 net worth at 8.5 minutes.
Do you think that Era, like we saw Era sitting behind mid lane at some point in time, do you think he should have tried a rotation up to top? Like, is that a way to deal with that?
For the bristle? You know, it's like, it's a 5-position bristle. This isn't like a Lich or a Grimstroke or some other 5 position that's going to offer a lot of damage. Like, I think Purge put it very eloquently. It's like they made their draft bad to take away Liquid's good draft. I don't think it necessarily works like that.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Certainly hasn't stopped the stacking. I do appreciate that High Coast is doing some stacking of their own, but it seems like Liquid, that entire concept of stacking, they seem very well equipped. When
he's actually maxing the Flame Guard on Ember to do the stack.
Yeah,
cool.
that's a nice little tidbit there.
Yeah, most of these Embers with the Coddle just go 4-4-0. But he went for the 1-2-0 on lane and then maxed out the Flame Guard just to get that quick boost. That's like 500 gold right there, 9 minutes in. That feels so good as a core. That's like a whole minute's worth of farming that he just got done in like 15 seconds.
Really high amount of experience as well, so he's still going to get those high levels of Sleight of Fist very, very soon.
Never let your school
Good kill there in the top lane. They get Taiga while trying to take some bounty runes.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Still, though, looks like 3 went to the side of...
I wonder if the Viper will go for Boots of Shroud. I think that it's a really nice item on Viper, but the Keeper of the Light might kind of do that for you. Curious to see what Quakefoot's next item is here. As Boxy has bought the Midas, has it pretty early, 10 minutes in for Invoker.
Zibik, you are not a core bristleback, my friend. You can't just run at people full-on aggro like you're invincible.
What do you mean, man? He's 6-slotted. Look at his inventory.
Is he really? Oh, look at that. He's got 8 items.
Yeah, you're right. He's actually 8-slotted.
All right, there goes the Rod of Atos. They're going to reveal that one as they start going onto the Morphling. He's going to shrink Morph for all he can and will manage to get out thanks in part to the rotations. Oh, nice pushback there. Era also pull in on Mickey to quickly surround that Earth Spirit. Mickey still has the haste rune, so he could chase some more heroes down if he wants to. Gets the Chakra Magic, had another Slight, but figured, no need to really dive this Darkseer too much. Just be happy with what you got.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Every time I look at the minimap, I see Liquid farming more areas than... I always mess up their name, man. I'm just gonna call them
High Coast. High Coast.
I keep wanting to say High Five, and then I'm just like, that's not right. Yeah, they like if I see Liquid farming 3 lanes, High Coast is farming 2.
Yeah.
See Liquid farming 2 lanes, High Coast is farming 1. It's just always more real estate going the way of Liquid, and that really just explains every time I look up at the net worth, it's another 500 or so every minute going in favor of Liquid.
It's rough. Again, High Coast is doing a good job of like keeping the total stacks pretty close to even here. I like that. I like that adjustment. But as you said, that's not the only thing that Coddle's doing, right? It's also, with the recall, allowing Liquid to be able to play more parts of the map, knowing that they could just group up thanks to the call nice and quick.
Yeah, I think if the spectators at home were to just go back and only watch the minimap from like the 5-minute mark until now, you can just tell how much more Liquid is farming. Because sometimes you get distracted by the kills that are going on, these like skirmishes at the bounty runes, and all these type of little miniature engagements. But at the end of the day, it's how much gold and experience people are accruing in this early game, and Liquid has a lot more of it thus far.
Now, I don't want our viewers to think that's all that Dota is, but the truth is that High Coast can't really punish them, right? I mean, they've got IO, Morphling, Darkseer. You said heroes that don't want to move around and make kills happen. go. Stania does have Taiga here to be able to block him off. Zibe, I keep forgetting that this little guy, man, he's so squishy. Then again, so is Koifa when he's surrounded by 4 heroes. But every single time I look at that bristleback,
that guy hits for 300 right now.
Oof. Yeah, that'll certainly.
That tower's gonna die top for sure.
They're fortified.
And I'm not gonna get too far ahead of myself like Kyle does. I'll just say it's most likely gonna die here.
Top tower is under attack.
See, Liquid is going to try and defend here. Arrow tries to make the initiation a little bit off the mark there with that roll in, and unfortunately he's going to pay the iron price. His blood is spilled on the battlefield. The tower does indeed die though, Brian. You are absolutely right about that one, but the tower is also, again, going to come at a cost. 2 heroes down, perhaps Green maybe going to die here as well, out of the EMP, out of the Stun Strike, so he is okay for now. Nick Yang, got to be careful of that turn into the Ember Spirit and had the shackles on him. Supreme, uh-oh, here comes the damage, here comes Taiga. They're going to throw a lot of tag team damage onto him, maybe Slop. Oh, they managed to get in front of him. Here comes the Bristleback. Zibe's here to defend his Supreme. Oh, no, the Morphling's dead. Zibe's dead too. Huh.
Here's the counter, guys. If you're looking to figure out how to play Bristle against Viper, you just don't level Bristleback.
Ah. Can't get broken if you don't have a passive.
It's just like that Purge video where they didn't level their skills against Rubik. It's the same idea. You're completely negating Viper's entire second ability. Except for the fact that it still does a shit ton of damage.
Amazing. Dota 2 truly is an open playground of ideas. Unfortunately,
you see something new every day, Cap.
Yeah, unfortunately, in that playground, Liquid is being the big bully, kicking sand in High Coast's eyes, pushing them down. They're up 8,000 net worth right now in 15 minutes. Again, very, very large lead. And
they just want to swing on the swings, man.
Yeah. What was your favorite recess playground activity, Brian?
I just climbed all over the jungle gym stuff, man. Anything I could climb on. That was what I was all about. What about you, Kev?
You know, I was a big fan of dodgeball. Loved me some dodgeball.
Dude, I love dodgeball too. Dodgeball and capture the flag. Those are like my favorite team games.
Well, 92, we're watching Charlie's IO try and clear through some ancient stacks. Gets a little help from Zibe, which I'm not sure if Charlie really wants, to be honest.
Yeah, get away from my experience, noob.
Yeah. I think that's fair. Zibe is currently 0-5 and 0. I mean, that's him. That's not the player. I feel like that's the hero in the position.
No, it's timeout. Who's the drafter?
Ah, yes. Maybe you are right about that. Maybe it is his fault. Listen, you draft together as a team, Brian.
Himself, right? Yeah. The team draft.
Yes.
There's like a lot of flexibility in Dota. What positions heroes play. I feel like Bristleback in the 5 position is not one of them.
No, don't think so.
Kind of reminds me of the Death Prophet 5 position that we saw a lot, maybe 8 or 9 months ago. On paper, it's like, yeah, it's really countered. It's a really good hero, but they picked like 4 counters. Let's just move it to support. And then you just don't have a support.
Zib is going to give his best rendition of Contortionist. Try and be as flexible as possible to get out of that gank, but he does not.
I was wondering what you meant by Contortionist.
Oh, you're talking about flexibility, you know?
That's true. It's true. It's good. It's a good one.
I mean, they're trying to be. Ultimately, they're trying to be OG, but can't quite pull that one off without some real good practice. Big hit with the double damage almost brings Charlie down. The roll in from Taiga. He's gonna get the big fish punch in there to finish him off. And now, well, this is High Coast retreat just like that.
Yeah, I love the Desolator from the Ember. Other than Morphling, all 4 heroes on the enemy team are strength heroes with low armor.
Taiga. Not quite catching there, but Mickey can. Gonna get the twofer. Lock him down with the Ron Vatos. They can go for the carry here. They can go for the Morphling. Supreme's already dead. Tornado up in the air. The Darkseer had just used his surge. So beautiful timing there from Boxy with a clock switch. Invoker catching him out. Koifa, he's not scared of anything, nor should he be, as most of High Coast is all dead. And they're up a whomping 10,000.
It's crazy to me the difference between like tier 1 EU and tier 2 EU, because this High Coast team, these players are good, man. Charlie's like top 10. Era's been around for a very long time. Same with Chessie, very high MMR. Like all these players are really good players, man.
Yeah.
I think it's easy at home to like laugh at these guys and think, wow, what a stupid draft. Like how bad are these guys? This is just proof of how good Liquid is, man. And then Liquid lost to Team Nigma, you know, a day or two ago. That's just crazy to me. Like the gap here.
It is pretty crazy. I have to assume this is something they've tried out. Just 5 position Bristle back. They probably tried it out. Green.
Honestly, this looks like something where I don't know how we deal with this. We don't have enough bans in the first round. How about we just deny pick the Bristle? Actually, pretty sure that's how that would go. If there's a loser's interview, you can ask, but I don't think there is one.
I love it. Let's look at the stats of deaths. There are only 2 people with deaths on the side of Liquid. Koifa and Taiga, the offlane duo of this game.
Yeah, whenever you're winning like this, you gotta bring up the scoreboard and say, who are the feeders? Who are the feeders on the winning team here?
I mean, who are the team players, Brian? Such a carry mentality to assume that deaths means feeding. Could just be, you know, playing for your team.
Such a support excuse. I mean, mentality.
Forgotten games.
13K, the number keeps climbing. The map gets smaller and smaller for High Coast, and they may have a Morphling. But I don't know. It's going to take some like mega throws. I don't know how they possibly rectify this big of an admit. They may have a hard carry that maybe this lineup at 55 minutes in an even game is going to look fantastic. But right now, as far down, they crushed.
I just love watching Liquid specifically because I feel like if I look at their every single game, the order in which people are is just different. Like obviously this series Mickey has been on top for both games, but sometimes Koifa is the one. Sometimes Taiga even has like one of the 2 highest net worth. Very rarely have I seen Taiga be the 5 position as the 4, right? He's the hero that farms much less than Keeper of the Light.
Okay, do you see that?
Versatility.
They're not even giving up this safe lane tower. So they had a Koifa down here, right? He threw down Nether Strike and then TP'd out to go Roshan. And then while they're doing Roshan, Insania comes in, he pushes out this lane, and he can recall his allies in. So they set it up where they're able to take Roshan without even giving up a tier 1 tower. That's just smooth.
What movie is it where you say like, give them nothing and take from them everything?
Yes.
Is that?
Yes.
Yes,
No, that's
that
excellent.
sounds like what they're going for here.
It really does. I was kind of joking about Liquid being bullies, but they're getting a little too real.
Yep, just look at it. Coddle farming bottom, Viper farming mid, Ember killing a tower top. Pretty much the story of this series.
That would be the 300 vision.
I thought so, but it's one of those where like if I say the movie and I'm wrong,
Yeah.
I feel stupider than just acting like I don't remember the movie, so... I went with the conservative approach.
Or maybe you could act
bottom.
like a bougie, you know, intellectual and say that you're quoting King Leonidas.
Oh yeah.
I'm not sure if he actually in reality said that. Sounds like a
Sounds like something that'd be hard to disprove, so I could go with it.
Yeah, absolutely. Chesty. Oh, yeah, that's a BKB on Mickey. A BKB with a double damage. And pretty sure those letters, all combined, BKB and DD, combined to say that High Coast is dead. Ah.
I feel like there's no way those letters combine to say that, but...
It's code, Brian. You wouldn't understand.
Okay, fair enough. It's support talk.
Yeah. all the 4 and 5 positions out there totally understand. Hey, you know what? Hey, shout out to High Coast. You gotta have... there's no other way to treat that game than just to laugh it off. You know? It's all good. It's all good, baby. It happens. Sometimes you just get outdrafted and you get stomped. Right, Brian?
Yeah.
Oh, you tell me stories, you tuck me in, and the second you leave, I call you right back to check for monsters in my streets. Yeah, high school was